Representative Paulina Luna is joining us now. She's Congresswoman from the great state of Florida. You guys are kicking it down in Florida. I mean, you're making Texas look bad, quite honestly. But thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Glenn. I'd like to say we're leading out the nation, not just in politics, but also in the White House. So happy to be here.
Yeah. All right. I have to ask you a little bit about, are we going to war? What's happening? Is this negotiation? What does your gut tell you on this?
My gut is telling me that we're not intervening, and based on the president's statements, he is still, rightfully so, urging everyone to negotiate right now, and he's definitely been very open about this post, but I don't want to speculate. What I will tell you is that in the last 24 to 48 hours, I've seen so much disinformation circulating on the internet, a lot of it not even coming from sources here in the United States, and so what I will tell everyone is that don't jump to conclusions. Don't read into anything that Senator Lindsey Graham is saying or any other members of Congress that are speculating that there is going to be direct intervention. In fact, the White House just yesterday via Alex Pfeiffer on X posted that the military is not intervening, that we're just simply defending our own. And so what I will tell Americans is, first and foremost, President Trump has not changed his position on foreign policy. If he wanted to strike, he would have done it by now. And so everyone needs to pray for him, pray for our country, pray for the civilians in both Iran and Israel right now, and let the process play out.
Can you tell me, do you think it's a red line to send over a bomber with, one bomb? Does that drag us into war, or is that just helping?
I would say as of right now, we need to not speculate, but continue to back the White House position, because I think that if I were to speculate on where the red line is, I don't think that it helps. And I do think that our allies and adversaries are looking to see what members of Congress are doing. And so I'm going to back the White House's position currently, which is defending our service members and not intervening at the moment.
I'm so glad to hear you say that. That is exactly what I just said on the air just about
really?
3 minutes ago. Yeah, I said the world is watching. You don't think the mullahs over there are watching everything that's said on X? I said, we didn't used to have these conversations where it was global. We're now in a global atmosphere, and they're watching all of us, and we can't eat ourselves up, or they'll, if he's telling the truth, I think a good negotiator never bluffs. So, he has to back it up. 60 days, you don't want to see what happens on day 61. Well, he wasn't bluffing. And if they think that we are eating ourselves alive, they're more likely to go, no, you know what? Go ahead. It's a really bad thing.
What I will say is it's definitely a litmus test for our country right now. You're seeing a lot of people, again, jumping to conclusions. And what I will tell you is that there's only a very select few that fully understand what's happening in the Situation Room. That's the president, his team, and a select other few. But what I will tell you is don't read in, don't over-speculate, and also, don't jump to the conclusions. Just, again, in the last 48 hours, I went online, I put out a statement because I saw so much disinformation circulating. And, this comes amidst something that was announced today by Kash Patel, that the CCP has engaged in basically election engineering. You just saw that in the 2020 election cycle. They just got busted. This also comes on the tail end of these riots that are absolutely being funded by the CCP. Neville Singham getting lots of money from them. And then it doesn't just, stop there. We just saw that there was an agro-terrorist attack from China. So what I would say is that, I'm partially inclined to think that some of these bot accounts that are attacking the president, our foreign policy positions right now, are coming from China amidst everything else that we're seeing. This is, 3 times now that we're seeing that they've done things. And so we have to stick together. It's not, Democrat versus Republican right now. It's America and fighting for Western civilization. And so we need to make sure that we are very responsible about our commentary right now.
Very good. Very good. So can we talk a little bit about let's start with Neville Singham. The guy is an operative for the CCP, and he is pouring tons of money, and no one in the mainstream media wants to talk about it. They keep, that's ridiculous. No, it's not. Can you give us some information on him?
Yeah, of course. So it's not ridiculous. In fact, there's a lot of money trails that lead back to Neville Singham, and I actually will give credit where it's due. So I was on X, and came across this account called Data Republican, and she actually pulled the
She's
money
great.
trails tying right to Singham. He also lives part-time in Shanghai, China, and he's not registered as a foreign agent. And so I was able to talk to Comer, and every single member of oversight, after seeing the evidence that was presented, actually sent the letter, signed off on it, not just to Neville Singham, but also to AG Bondi to also request an investigation. And so what I will tell you is, this should have been done during BLM in Congress back then. It was not.
Yeah.
This needs to be replicated moving on forward with everyone else that is engaging, who's not a registered foreign agent in this country. Also funding riots like this, which, in some instances have been acts of terrorism. You've been seeing that. And so right now, it's not just the playbook for Neville Singham. We're also, and this is up to Comer because Comer has subpoena authority, whether or not he's going to be sending a subpoena to George Soros, which I've urged him to do. We know that even though Neville Singham is a Marxist, that Soros is a globalist, but their end objective is, again, to dismantle the United States. And so we're basically being hit from both sides right now.
It is so refreshing. I mean, I've been talking about this stuff for 20 years, and it is so refreshing finally to have some people, step up and present this in a credible way in Congress and to the Attorney General, et cetera, et cetera. You had the playbook from 1983 from the CIA, and this is, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. No, it was in 2019 or 2020. I did a special on the color revolutions and how there was the CIA playbook that was out, and it looks exactly like what is happening here in the United States. And I said,
oh, yeah.
I said, at the time, here's what's coming, and it's all here. Where are you taking this, and is there anybody, that can stop this? Because we're using CIA tactics on ourselves.
Well, I would say the CCP is using this against us right now. Just first and foremost, yes, we can stop it. We have to go after the money stream. And I actually also found out via the Data Republican that $270 million in USAID funds was issued to George Soros NGOs prior to Biden getting out of office. President Trump can stop that. So I sent a letter requesting it via executive order because Congress is moving very slow. That's, I think, a separate conversation. But either which way, we can stop the money streams. And if we don't do anything, though, right, if we don't do the investigations, if we don't say you cannot do this in our country, you are also, by the way, guilty of violating foreign agent registration, the Foreign Agent Registration Act, the FAR Act. It's just going to continue happening. So we have to do the due diligence on this. And it's not just me. Every single member of oversight signed off on it. And to Chairman Comer's credit, he will be playing ball with Singham. So it's going to happen. It's just when will it happen, right? So the timeline, the clock was initiated on Friday. And we're waiting for his response. He's going to be called to testify. We are looking at all transaction records. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I want to give some people hope. I actually know Director Radcliffe and over at the CIA. And the CIA back then, remember, there's both good and bad people at these intelligence agencies. And to President Trump's credit, the people that he has appointed actually are people like you and I. And so they are doing their best to weed out the systemic corruption at these agencies. And so what's been really brilliant in all of this is that Kash Patel is also following up on these money trails to see what outside foreign influences are engaging in this color revolution here in the United States. And he's dropping that information now. So in previous administrations, this might not have happened, but in this one, they are stopping it. And it's because of social media, kudos to Elon Musk, that we were able to get out the information in time in regards to the No Kings protest, who is funding that, in regards to potential insider attacks that were going to frame, conservatives, frame Republicans. We're seeing all of this stuff fold out in real time. So the American people are waking up. And I will tell you that Hispanic Americans specifically do not like being used as pawns. So when you have basically BLM 2.0 happening right now with these ICE riots, and you realize that these are actually largely Antifa that are being bussed in, they're white, they're not Hispanic, they're not immigrants, they have no ties to the community, and they're simply inserting, Mexican flags where BLM flags went, that doesn't bode well in the community. Remember, Hispanic Americans largely voted in favor for President Trump. So there is hope, but you just can't sit on your hands. You have to get active. You have to get engaged, and I keep telling people that.
For years, I've been angry at the billionaires on the right that just have not stepped to the plate. But I suspected with the Tides Foundation and then with Biden and all of these Green New Deals and everything else that was going on, that money was being funneled off the top. And then as soon as we appointed Doge, I'm like, oh my gosh, the money is coming from us. And then he started to find it. That is so
Elon,
critically important. Are we going to stop that funding?
Well, yes, and so that's what we've been doing with some of these rescission packages that the White House has authorized, but we have to move quickly and we have to be more aggressive with it. I will tell you, though, remember, I think just in general, sometimes people can be lazy. And so what I've been telling people is you have no idea the level of personal sacrifice that Elon really took on from taking on Doge and doing this, especially going after USAID, which was literally just like a pot of just corrupt nonsense. He actually just released, as we were, I think, about to call into this, he released drug testing results. He had himself drug tested because they were saying that he was, doing all this crazy stuff. And he wasn't, right? They've attacked his companies. They've attacked his reputation. They've literally used his personal family matters in the press. And then they try to drive a wedge between him and the president. So what I will tell you is, it's not just him. It's any member of Congress or Senate. You saw what happened with the president. They tried to assassinate him twice. Okay, so if you take this on, the American people need to back these people up, because it's not like we're taking it on because we, want to have our personal lives and our familyhood, put on the line here. It's because it's the right thing to do. And if we don't do it, who will? And so you really, really have to make sure that right now everyone is sticking together. Remember, look out for the disinformation campaigns and keep supporting people that are doing the right thing, because we need more of them.
Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna. Thank you, Anna. I appreciate it. God bless you.
Thanks, Glenn.
You bet. We'll talk again.